until 9 a.m. And it's a Monday. We are live once again from Bill Penny Toyota, sitting out here in the service department. Their doors have just opened just as our show gets underway. 256-576-4977. That's the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And then 256-837-1111 if you need the number to the Bill Penny Service Department. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday. You can get a hold of them to get your vehicle serviced here at the Bill Penny Toyota Service Department, just right behind the showroom. Nice big waiting area for you to hang out in. And Bill Penny Toyota, don't forget, they also have the mobile service department as well. So give them a call. You can figure out everything that goes on. Welcome in on a Monday, beautiful Monday. When you wake up today and you get outside, kind of like yesterday, happy Father's Day to everybody, late Father's Day. But as you wake up today and you walk outside, it does get a feeling of, I want to say early spring, but if you close your eyes and you think real hard, it feels like football. And I believe we are 74 days away officially from getting the start of the college football season underway. Kind of feels just.
Yeah, I believe the official. Some people count down Saturdays. I think Saturday was 11. This past Saturday before Father's Day,
yeah,
it was 11 Saturdays until Alabama football.
Until SEC football, yeah.
Yep. So, and then of course, because we are the home of Alabama Crimson Tide football, so we're all looking forward to it. But I'm amazed, Scott. I mean, it's less than a month now until SEC Media Days, so it's counting down till we'll be in Atlanta for much of the week at the College Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
and so we'll be able to. And to me, that's the official where it really starts cranking up, because you've only got just a couple of weeks until practice starts,
right?
Fall camp, and then everybody's really going to start itching for football. So it'll be here before you know it, no doubt about it. And summer is certainly here. All week we're supposed to have mid-90s to high 90s temperatures, but
that's why I'm appreciating this.
What we got right now,
the 65-degree weather when we wake up and we get out right now.
Get here and we get here to Bill Penny. That's the one advantage to having a morning show.
Yeah,
is that you get in here before the heat of the day.
That's right. Well,
it's really appreciated.
I'm looking and it says 93 today, 96, 98, 96, 96, 97, 96 for the rest of the week.
Yeah,
I'll take this 65 degrees to start our Monday. Well, happy Monday, everyone.
Right.
Welcome in. And the heat is on, and I guess you could say the heat is on the Auburn Tigers today in Omaha, because the last time Auburn went to Omaha for the College World Series, they were battered, they were banged up, they were bruised, and they went 0-2. And it was, you know what, if Auburn was healthy, they probably could have gotten a game or two there in Omaha. But on Saturday, Ole Miss, by the way, Ole Miss got the best of Auburn. But if you are keeping track at home, there's only one team so far in the NCAA tournament that has yet to lose a game in the NCAA tournament, and that is the Ole Miss Rebels.
They are red hot.
The Ole Miss Rebels have yet to drop a game in the NCAA tournament. They have been perfect the whole way. They continued that stretch on Saturday, sending Auburn into the losers bracket.
Yeah, Dylan DeLucia, who's been a starter for them for much of the year, but then came out during the regionals, came out of the bullpen. He was the game one starter, 7 2/3 innings, Scott, only one run. He no-hit Auburn for, I believe, close to into the fifth inning before Auburn got their first hit. And so he just dominated. And so Ole Miss only had to use two arms to close out Auburn and win 5-1. I didn't think Auburn played that poorly. I just thought it was how well Ole Miss pitched, and sometimes that's just the way it goes. Certainly Auburn, threatened a couple of times and got 3 straight hits to get their run across in the sixth inning. But again, Dylan DeLucia was just too good. He struck out 10 And as we said, Auburn struck out 13 times overall, so now they got the number 2 seeded Stanford Cardinal today at 1 in the elimination game. Hopefully they're going to win this thing today, and then basically it'll be almost an SEC invitational because Texas A&M and Coach Schlossnagle in his first year there, they, in an elimination game yesterday, whipped the Texas Longhorns 10-2. Texas goes 0-2 barbecue. They lose game 1 on Friday, 7-3 to Notre Dame. And then, and as we said, Oklahoma beats Texas. Oklahoma beats Texas A&M 13-8 on day 1. So they win the losers bracket. But
that game last night, though, between Texas A&M and Texas, lasted 4 hours and 2 minutes. In all, Texas A&M made Texas throw 191 pitches in that ball game yesterday.
Yeah.
That is how long that one. Jim Schlossnagle told the ESPN employee in the dugout, apparently, he goes, I hope you get paid by the hour because you're going to be here a while. So Texas A&M kind of dug their heels in yesterday.
Yeah, no doubt. And then, pardon me, but Auburn didn't score till the 7th inning where it happened. But again, Ole Miss was just tremendous. And again, like we said, 13-8, Texas A&M loses. 7-3, Texas loses. They played an elimination game yesterday, though, 10-2. The Longhorns fall, and they are eliminated. So they're the first team going home. And Auburn today at 1. They're going to play 1 this afternoon on this federal holiday, and so on Juneteenth. And so they'll play at 1 p.m. Central against Stanford. Stanford just, it was unbelievable what Arkansas did. Arkansas 17-2.
Yeah.
That's an all-time record for an SEC school as far as, for runs scored and then winning by 15 runs. There is no run limit, so you play the 9 innings, but 17-2 over the number 2 seed Stanford. Arkansas rolls, and so they are in the winner's bracket against Ole Miss. That game will be played at 6 tonight. But like you said, Mike Bianco and Ole Miss right now, hottest team in college baseball. They have not lost a game. And ironically, they were the last team into the field, a lot of people thought, but that's baseball. And right now, much like the Atlanta Braves got hot at the right time, Ole Miss is on fire. And they were just so sharp in all 3 phases, pitching, situational hitting, and defense against the Auburn Tigers to unfortunately send Butch Thompson's team into the losers bracket. But hopefully Auburn can get going today.
Here is a little bit of Butch from yesterday, spending some time with the media in Omaha.
The thought as you reset and get ready for another opportunity tomorrow.
Yeah, I just a few thoughts today. I'm thinking about the man, the woman, the team that refuses to quit. It's hard to beat. And I think of the recent success in our program in a regional format of winning that first game and that second game and getting the opposite of that here to start the College World Series. But staying in the fight is a message that you would, hope this club understands and will fight to be able to do that, starting off with Stanford tomorrow. But this is one step at a time, so it's less words and more get back out here and getting into practice and getting ready to play again and know that, we've got to make a grind here. We just, chop the tree one at a time. So we got to get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then that gives you a chance to play for a national championship. So just the road has been, we've outlined it to one another today, and we'll get back to work on the practice field and then get back into competition tomorrow.
That was Butch Thompson ahead of today's showdown with Stanford. And obviously, Coach alluding to the fact that, in regional play this past go-around, Auburn was able to get into the winner's bracket, and it looked like it was an easier climb. Now Auburn has to go through the loser's bracket to get to where they want to go, and they are aware of the number 36, and that represents they know the number 36 and what it represents. Only 4 times, Drew, in the last 40 years has a team lost its opening game and come back to win the national championship. So 36 times it has not happened.
Very tough.
Yeah, so Auburn has got a long road ahead of them, and it is today.
Well, and we talked about it, how important it is, first of all, to win game one and stay in the winner's bracket, and then to do what Oklahoma did. And then we should mention that. They take out Notre Dame 6-2 yesterday to get to 2-0 and be in the winner's bracket. If you can get to 2-0, Scott, I mean, you're one win away. It's like playing a regional. You're one win away from being in the finals.
Right.
So, and your pitching is set up because all the games are spaced out starting-wise. So you're in a very strong position if you're 2-0 to get that one more win and advance to the College World Series finals. And Oklahoma has not been since 2010, and they have not won since 1994. And 1994 sticks out in my head, Scott, because first of all, it was the year I graduated high school, but second of all, Chip Glass was the MVP. I believe he was the center fielder for Oklahoma. They were kind of a Cinderella story and won it that year because I know you remember Jim Morris, who retired a couple years ago from the University of Miami. But before he was at Miami, he was at Georgia Tech, and they had that year, I guess you would call it last year's Arkansas, this year's Tennessee. Georgia Tech was a powerhouse that year and got to the national championship game. They had some catcher named Jason Varitek. He was a pretty good player. They had an outfielder named Jay Payton. He was pretty good, ended up being a New York Met. But then, of course, they had some shortstop, Nomar Garcia-Parra. He was pretty good.
Yeah, he turned out to be pretty well.
Yeah, so that was a loaded Georgia Tech team, but Oklahoma beat them. But back then, remember, it wasn't a situation where it was best 2 out of 3 in the finals. The finals was just the two teams left standing, and you played in a winner-take-all championship game. Oklahoma won it at the former Johnny Rosenblatt Stadium then. They did not have and by the way, I forgot TD Ameritrade changed sponsors. I know
it's Charles Schwab Field now.
Charles Schwab Field. So they did not have the new facility in Omaha. So, but Oklahoma won the national title then, and so now they're trying to do it again. They've set themselves up. They're 2-0. They took care of Notre Dame and Link Jarrett's gutsy squad. So this is going to be really interesting.
All right, let's go to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Brandon's with us this morning. Good morning, Brandon.
Guys, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Well, I heard y'all talking about Butch, and I wanted to take a second and remind y'all, I don't know if you saw, but after going 2-10 in 2021, Butch Jones got a 1-year extension, and I just wonder, are y'all headed out there to take him up on his offer to come visit the program so y'all can celebrate that?
Yeah, we're trying to pull that trip together about as fast as Jimbo Fisher is going to be on the show.
That would be fantastic. I would love to see Jimbo Fisher on the show. In fact, I would actually donate money for that. We all know it's not going to happen, but it'd be fantastic.
Well, Brandon, I will say I don't know if I'm sure you were listening at the start of the show, but we're less than a month now from SEC Media Days. Dirt Neck will have to speak to the media over there, and I hope to be able to be in the main room so I can ask him a question. I don't know if they'll I'll get called on, but I'm certainly going to ask him something, and it'll probably be a question that he'll avoid. But about Nick Saban, he'll probably just say we've moved on, and he doesn't want to answer questions about that. But who knows? Or they may stipulate you can't ask any questions about Coach Saban, though I think that's pretty stupid.
I think that's going to be the main thing. I think that is going to be the point that is going to be made.
It'd be the Joe Biden way to do stuff.
Well, if y'all want to start a GoFundMe page now for Drew's bail, I mean, I'll drop the first 100 so that we can get it done.
I just have a feeling that there'll be. I have a feeling that in his introductory remarks, that Jimbo Fisher will mention, because he's going to have to, because there are going to be people that are going to ask questions, because there's going to be national media that has not talked to Jimbo Fisher at any point up until SEC Media Days.
That's true. Yes.
And so that will be addressed that.
Because it's
going to be
the meltdown press conference was mostly all Texas A&M people.
And so there's going to be a point where he's going to say, look, we have moved on. I am not going to answer any questions about Nick Saban. I am not going to answer. I want to. I'm here to talk about our football team, what we have going on now, what we are going to be doing, and But there will be that one or two reporters that will get a question in because they will do it.
Well, I'm wondering if Vegas is going to have a prop bet whether he comes in the front door or comes in the back. I would. Front door of the gallery.
It's going to be in Atlanta this year, Brandon. So it's not even going to be.
Yeah,
it's not going to be in the Winfrey.
Yeah, it's going to be near you, dude.
So I don't know where and how the coaches are going to go in. When we were there the last time in Atlanta, they had their own entrance anyway. It was completely different from what it was in the Galleria. So the coaches had a separate entrance in there last time. So
you usually come in right there off Marietta Street, and Saban and a few others did come in through there, and then some of the others took the service entrance in the back. So I was wondering what he was going to do, and I want to tell you, I saw a crossover this weekend, this past week, of something that truly, truly amazed me. My son, I've been able to talk to y'all last week. He broke his foot in football drills, so he's out for the entire summer. He snapped it. He rolled it over running blood and guts drills out in the on the field. But my daughter went to Miss Georgia as a princess invite. And if you have never seen pageant mothers before, you have never seen what a really mad woman looks like. And when you got pageant mothers that brought U-Haul trucks full of stuff to the hotel down there in Columbus, Georgia, and I'm not joking. I mean,
I can only imagine.
In the park. They were drunk and arguing about college football in the bar down there and had to be separated by their husbands. I never thought I would live to see the day.
Now, look, I'll say this.
With the pageant mom.
Pageants are no joke.
No,
I'll say this. They
take them so serious.
You know, we talk about how costly travel ball can be for baseball.
It's
Pageants
probably worse than that,
worse.
or even like training for a marathon or anything like that, like the Boston Marathon. Like I
think pageants take the cake as far as like cost and everything else goes.
Oh.
Well, there was one mom there that she went to Tennessee, and she was arguing with somebody, and we were sitting in there in the bar, and I screamed, "Grab the mustard!" And the poor waitress, she was doubled over laughing.
Well, I did get a Tennessee joke in over the weekend as well. My wife and I had to attend a wedding Saturday night, and we were sitting next to her aunt, and her aunt's son is getting married in November, and she leans over, her aunt did, and said, "Well, Scott, the wedding is in Memphis," and she tells me the date, and she goes, "That's the weekend of the SEC championship." And I said, "Well, y'all shouldn't have anything to worry about because Tennessee won't be there." And
that's fantastic.
She just leaned back and said, "Well, no, we don't need to start that now, do we?" And I was like, "You know what, though?" But yeah, so yeah.
It absolutely amazes me. You figure dudes would act like that at the bar, but not women. I was totally taken by that, and but the ferocity of it, really and truly, these pageant mothers, hats off to them.
It could be a reality show, and I think it has been, dude.
I've never been to it before. I just know my wife hung me with like a $4,000 bill, and I agreed to it once. Yeah, and most of the dads and stuff, we were sitting around the pool, and I told my son, I said, "Look, you're not going to attract these younger girls listening to drinking music. You're going to have to do something else." Me and the other dads we were just really having a good time talking about football and talking about coming to SEC Media Days, and one of the Auburn guys there said, "Well, are Alabama and Texas A&M fans, are y'all just going to fight it out in the street?" And I said, "Well, I'm thinking about moving my anniversary trip so I can be there." I was like, I want to be looking in the glass when Drew takes him on. And there were a couple people there that were from the northwest Georgia border area there that actually listened to your show. David
nice.
And Gus were there, and we talked about it. But y'all are going to be there for all 3 days, correct?
4
Yes,
days,
sir.
yeah.
4
We'll
days,
be there
all
starting
4,
Monday morning and being there
through
Monday,
Thursday.
Tuesday. Yep.
Okay, so where's y'all's Radio Row going to be? Is it going to be there
We
in the
don't
Omni
know.
Hotel?
We don't know officially. We don't think it's going to be in a back room like it was the last time a few years ago.
We
I think
have
it's
a
going to
feeling it's in the College Football Hall of Fame.
within
year.
the Hall of Fame this year. Yeah.
Well, I need a video of Drew kicking a field goal on the field goal setup there.
Well, I don't know about that. We may have to take a rain check on that.
Yeah, I
one.
don't know if I can elevate the football enough to get it through the damn upright, over the crossbar.
Yeah, we're gonna take a rain check on that one. All right, Brandon.
Roll Tide, Drew.
All right, we got to move on because we got to get a break in because when we come back, we got to recap the U.S. Open. What a fantastic 4 days it was. History was made on the golf course. We'll explain it when we return.
Always said he could get it.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Got a minor wreck at 72 in Moore's Mill. And we got 53 in Reddy's section. That one's reported with an injury with some southbound blockage. Everything else seems to be moving well this morning. You be careful on that trip in. Dr. Sandman has the Somnodent, a safe, insurance-approved alternative for snoring and sleep apnea. Dr. Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Egg in the North Parkway, Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Flow Trampoline Park is Huntsville's newest destination for family fun. There's an inflatable park for the little ones, air track basketball courts for the sports people, and a variety of other aerial sports attractions. Plus, plenty of couches and TVs for the spectators. And this Friday, get a $50 voucher to Flow for just $25 on Zone Deals. We have a limited number of these great deals going on sale Friday morning at wzzn.halfoffdeals.com. Keep an eye on all our social media channels for the link and get in on the fun this Friday.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
In 1982, Bob Baumhauer introduced Alabama to the Buffalo Wild Wing, and quite frankly, we've never been the same. Back then, it was Wings and Things in Tuscaloosa, but now, 40 years later, after 4 name changes, Baumhauer's Victory Grill is the #1 sports-themed restaurant in the state. Bob's Alabama Hot Chicken is something that has to be tried to believe, plus the new Bam Bam Chicken and the Louisiana-style Go Fish, a whitefish over rice topped with shrimp etouffee. And Baumhauer's is fighting inflation with some new affordable favorites. Visit Baumhauer's on the South Parkway today.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your insulation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on 2 services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatewitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Join us this afternoon from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And Being that it was Father's Day weekend, if you are a sports enthusiast, you know, or if you are a golf enthusiast, you know.
Totally a tradition.
That the U.S. Open is played on Father's Day weekend, and in fact, it was played on Father's Day weekend. And coming up here in just a second, our golf analyst, let's see, what was that? Our golf analyst, Charles Plott, will sit in the chair and help us break down the U.S. Open. And by the way, I'm going to say history was made. I don't know if it's history for say, but it was a little bit of history made there. Twice we have seen golfers win a U.S. Amateur and a U.S. Open on the same course.
Yep.
Jack Nicklaus did it at Pebble Beach. Matt Fitzpatrick has now done it at the Country Club. He wins the U.S. Open. So two golfers have won the U.S. Open and a U.S. Amateur on the same course. And Jack Nicklaus, Matt Fitzpatrick, two of those, I should say. So that's the history I was mentioning.
Yeah, and our great analyst now is here with us from Plott Performance, and Charlie Plott's with us. And Charlie, I know you were texting me yesterday, and this was a pretty hair-raising finish is the best way to put it. It was the last four holes, the tournament laid in the balance, and Matt Fitzpatrick, who I believe you mentioned it on Friday when you joined us on our Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, he won the U.S. Amateur in 2013 at the Country Club at Brookline. This was his first win on the PGA Tour. He's won 7 times on the European Tour. I know he's been a 3-time Ryder Cup participant, but I almost took it. If this comparison is not good, you can tell me because you're a golf expert and I'm not. Reading about this and watching this guy, it's almost like it reminded me of a European Corey Pavin winning a major because this is a dude that had not won one and really he'd only been in 2 top 10s before, so he put it all together this week.
Well, first I got to stop you with hair raising. Given my hair, it was not hair raising. My scalp tingled. I
guess. Yeah.
That's a wonderfully interesting comparison. Probably a better ball striker could hit the ball further than Corey Pavin, but
and they even talked about that his distance in the last several months has picked up. I know Scott Scheffler was talking about that, how he's hitting the ball much further because he outdrove the guy you love, the Taurus, who's had some near misses.
Well, first of all, I think Fitzpatrick is a fascinating study. We watched him in the PGA, and he seemed to mentally melt down. His body language was awful. It was all the signals that this was a guy having internal battles. Yesterday, one of the first things I noticed was he was smiling and laughing all during the round. If you watched him and his caddy interact, it was a totally different thing. He would 3-putt for a bogey, and they'd be smiling walking off the green, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, this dude has done some work on himself since the PGA. He has done work on his body to hit the ball further. Wonderful competitor. If people paid attention, he would pull out after he hit a shot. He would pull his yardage book out or a book he had in his back pocket, and he would make notes. He makes notes about every single shot, every single round. What was the wind doing? Was it uphill, downhill? What was the lie like? Where did the ball go? And he made the comment that he does this because he physically doesn't have the ability of everybody else, and he's trying to make the most out of what he's got.
Right.
Man, what a great story, on top of the fact that he stayed at the same house he stayed at when he won the U.S. Amateur. I thought it was fascinating. If I had hair, Drew, it was hair-raising.
His stats, though, were phenomenal all weekend.
Yeah.
16th in driving distance, 5th in driving accuracy, and 1st in greens and regulation.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the longest hitter to win. And lots of times when we go back to Tiger Woods and we think Tiger Woods being dominant and you think just out-driving everybody, out-distancing everybody, that wasn't always the case when Tiger was dominant. It was those little keys right there, fairways and regulations and putting. And Matt Fitzpatrick did that all weekend.
Yeah, he made history because he became only the third golfer. I think it was Nick Faldo, 96 Masters, Brooks Koepka, 2017 U.S. Open. He hit 17 of 18 greens on the final day, so he was unreal.
Well, I thought he was absolutely dead on 18. He drove
it
in the
looked
bunker.
like it was.
Yeah, and then you look at the line, and he could just skirt that mound in the bunker and get it on the green, and they were like, can he get it on the green? And the dude hit a shot.
Right.
And that's what I was impressed with, both Zalatoris and Matt Fitzpatrick. They did not neither one of them choked. I mean, it was just really good, solid golf. Scotty Scheffler, here's a dude number one in the world. And I didn't really think this was a good golf course for him. He's a good driver of the ball, a long driver of the ball, not known for the accuracy, a really good putter. And he hangs in there. I honestly thought he might take the lead and never relinquish it. But it was a fascinating thing, and it was Adam Hadwin, one of my dark horse picks, managed to stay in contention. Never really contended on the last day, but was up there. I thought a new guy would win this week, and we got that with either Fitzpatrick or Zalatoris doing it. But I think that it's a great testimony to a guy who has set out to make himself better and has accomplished that. That's all I challenge clients to do when I work with them is, how do you get to be the best you can be? And that sounds really corny, but the length that this guy has gone to achieve what he's achieved is a great testimony. Watch out for him. They're headed back to his homeland.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've got Scotty
Open.
Scheffler won the Masters. Justin Thomas won the PGA. Matt Fitzpatrick wins the U.S. Open. 25 days now till the Open Championship at St. Andrews. Are you willing to put on those three possibly to win, or are we going to have four major winners this year and no repeat winners, do you think, from these majors?
I don't know that I would put Justin Thomas in there. He's a high ball hitter. I don't know. You could end up with wind, and that be a challenge. If there's not a lot of wind, I think JT has a good chance. Scheffler played college golf in Texas. That's all you have to say. I mean, he does know how to play in the wind, and so I like that. St. Andrews is not a long hitter. It doesn't favor a long hitter in a lot of ways. So Matt Fitzpatrick could be a good choice there. I think we're going to get another person. I think we're going to have somebody else come out of the crowd. I don't think it'll be Tiger Woods.
No.
If he decides to play, the one advantage is St. Andrews is an easy walk, and you're not going that you might be dealing with cold, but you're not going. I don't think you'll be dealing with the hills that he's had to deal with, and the heat he had to deal with out in Oklahoma for the PGA.
It was different not seeing him at the U.S. Open.
It was. It was. An interesting golf course built around a rock quarry that nowadays they would probably just blow those things up and haul the rocks out, and you had people sitting on rock cliffs. I think it's an interesting place.
Well, and I know you said you were really impressed with Will Zalatoris as well. I know he hasn't broken through, but he seems to be close, and I thought he was very complimentary of Matt Fitzpatrick. He said the shot he hit on 18, because he took a look at his lie, thought he had a really good shot at either, parring it and having a chance at a playoff or birdieing the hole and winning the tournament. But as he said, this is going to be a shot that they replay at U.S. Opens for years and years and years. He thought it was a 1-in-20 shot, and Fitzpatrick pulled it off just a few feet from the hole.
He made some real adaptations. He choked the club down almost to the bottom of the grip. I never really liked the feel of that as a golfer. Obviously, he clearly knew what he was doing. He probably had to work the ball, although I haven't seen a really good video of it of how much he may have had to curve the ball. but he absolutely hit it spot on. And we were all watching, you know, the shot gets on the green, and we're all yelling in the living room. And then, you know, he lags it down there and taps it in. And then we all went nuts because a foot from the hole, we think Zalatoris has poured it in to force a playoff, you know. And it was high drama, maybe not the names that people want to hear. But this is a life-changing event to win the U.S. Open. Really puts Fitzpatrick in the spotlight as one of the world's best players, and Zalatoris just keeps putting it in there. And if he gives himself enough chances, he's going to win one. Wow. There is little doubt. If you all love his short putt stroke, if you all have seen that thing, boy, this dude has some battles with putting. He actually looks much better on a longer putt than a short putt, and I could go into that for hours. Our plot profile tells you that.
Well, that's what I wanted to go with Zalatoris. His first 9 major starts. This is what it looks like for Zalatoris. Cut, tied for 6th, second, tied for 8th, cut, withdrew, tied for 6th, second, and second. That is his 9 major starts for Will Zalatoris. So he either makes the field. If he makes the field without getting cut, he's in a top 10 finish. And so is Zalatoris the next guy to break through in winning a major? I mean, he's only been in 9 majors, and he's finished no worse than 8th when he makes the cut.
So I was addressing this with some family members yesterday, and I said, way before your time, Tom Watson had similar stories of having the 54-hole lead and not finishing, and having the 54-hole lead and not finishing. Sometimes not finishing well at all. I mean, I think he shot 79 one year at Winged Foot. It may have been. I'm pulling that out of nowhere. I'm not like Drew. I'm not the catalog of references. But and then he goes on and just dominates in major golf for a long time. I would hope that for Will. I became much more a fan. He seemed to be having more fun yesterday as well. I think it was a really good pairing. If I do my plot performance profile and just watch, I don't have any. I'm not assessing them,
right?
But just watching, I think they have very complementary personality types, and it was not a bad pairing for them yesterday. I think they're both rather meticulous and detail-oriented and all of that sort of stuff. And the one I felt for was watching Jon Rahm, and he just looked miserable. He looked miserable on Saturday when he actually played himself into the lead. That's the one that I would – I hear so many stories of just how unpleasant it is to play with him because he's constantly complaining. Now, man, he had a bunch to complain about on Saturday. He was by a root. He was in a divot. The wind would quit blowing. I mean, it was just one thing after another. But he's very verbal about it and just seems angry and mad on the golf course.
Well, and one thing you're great about doing is giving us tips on – you've already kind of done it during the segment today here live at Bill Penny Toyota about guys and how they match up with golf courses. Well, and Scott has already said, do you think there's going to be a 4th different major champion this year? We just talked about Zalatoris and all the missed opportunities and the near misses, and he's close. How does his game match up with St. Andrews?
I think he's a high ball hitter. I don't know.
Much like Justin Thomas?
Yeah, I think he hits the ball. And their swings are rather similar if you watch them. Folks that get really high in the backswing and make the motion they make tend to be fairly high ball hitters. You have seen some guys, Nicklaus was a high ball hitter, Watson was a high ball hitter, that seem to adapt to the wind and the challenges of the links courses. So it's not like it can't be done. Jon Rahm may be an interesting pick in the British Open because he's familiar with it. He's a European. He's played in some of those conditions. It'd be interesting to see how he does. But I think in the next year you're going to see Zalatoris break through. Would not surprise me if it's Augusta. He seems to like that place. And then you could look at either the PGA or the U.S. Open. He's proven he can handle those sort of setups. I'll be watching to see what happens in the British Open.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was fascinating golf this weekend. Fitzpatrick is one of those Europeans that came over here to play college golf, played at Northwestern. Again, speaks to a lot of intellect and analytical sort of approaches to the game. He is a bright kid, and he has worked smart and he has worked hard. So whether I would have liked him or chosen him on the front end, I admire him on the back end. He got it done.
But we talk about what he did on the 18th hole to clinch it, but really the 15th is where you could argue it was decided because of that huge swing. Because again, we're talking about, I believe they were both. It was tied, and they had to wait 5+ minutes. There was a delay. I know that some people were bothered by, but again, a huge sequence there for Fitzpatrick to win it.
Well, and I
to
called
set
the
himself
putt.
up to win.
I called that putt. It was funny. I said he's going to make this, and he did. And that's what you saw with Fitzpatrick. Maybe just a little more than Zalatoris was making a putt of length to turn things around. You had Fitzpatrick 3-putt and Zalatoris make a putt, and you got a big swing, and then you had it turn right back around again.
This is the future of golf, right? Are these the guys? Because I mean, Phil didn't make the cut. We didn't expect him to really, but you got the Rory McIlroy still out there. Justin Thomas is still out there, and he's probably in his prime, getting into there. But Fitzpatrick, Zalatoris, I mean, these are guys that
Scotty
are going to be
Scheffler,
around.
I think
these are going to be guys around the tour for quite some time.
I think so. I don't see anything. When you look at some people, you go, man, they do about 3 or 4 things wrong, and it all cancels out. It's like, well, I aim left, but I push it, and and it balances out. You don't see anything really funky with any of these. I don't think their bodies are going to break down. They're young, they're successful, they're proving themselves in the heat of the moment. I think Scheffler kind of made a statement that the Masters wasn't a fluke. I mean, he goes and flat out has the lead on 2 different occasions on the weekend, and it just slips away from him. I think that there is a wave coming, and we're seeing it.
No question about it, but it was a great U.S. Open, no doubt about it. High drama, as we said, and now, as Scott's already said, I'm still having to process it because of them changing the schedule and the PGA being earlier.
Too.
So the major schedule is really already almost. It starts in April with the Masters and goes by like a flash now. So we're less than a month from having Keith Niebuhr, our great friend from now Auburn Live on On3, being at St. Andrews. He's taking his vacation to go there. So he's probably going to be another one of our correspondents talking golf. But as we are now going to be waiting on that tournament, Charlie, who are some of the guys that you feel like that the course – I know Tiger Woods would be one. We don't know if he's going to play, but who should we look for?
Well, I think I like Rory. I think this could be it would probably mean as much to him as anyone out there. I would look for some of these other European guys that are playing on our tour. The list could just be endless. Of nowadays, so much of it is just a worldwide game. I like some of the young fellows. Justin Thomas, if he can handle adjusting to the wind, I think he's got he's gritty. I think that's what you see with Zalatoris. I think that's what you see with Matthew Fitzpatrick. I'm drawing a blank as to I've got a guy in my head, and I am so bad with names, I just literally draw a blank. I'd have to go looking down the list and go, that's him. But I think we're going to see a wide-open British Open this year. There will be there'll be some people who pop up as favorites. Dustin Johnson, I think, has a game that can fit well. He adapts his ball flight a lot. Yeah. So I think that he wants to make a statement that all this live golf stuff isn't going to affect his ability to perform. That would be my expectation out of Dustin Johnson. He is probably a little bit of a man on a mission. Going into it right now, that would be my guy. It's hard to call him a dark horse, but he's kind of been obviously in the background here and will stay in the background through the British Open. That'll be the next time that we see him head-to-head with these guys. Live Golf only has 48 players in it, so that's a pretty narrow field.
Yes. All right, good stuff. Charles Plott. Charles, let everyone know how they can get a hold of Charles Plott and Plott Performance.
You can get me at charles@plottperformance.com. It was a busy weekend. We had an angler finish fourth. I have a new Corn Ferry Tour player that roared up the leaderboard on Saturday and finished in top 15 or so. Lots of stuff going on. I'm switching from app to app to app on my phone, trying to keep up with stuff. So it's exciting. We've got a lot of stuff happening. If you would like to get a golf profile, those are available through our website. We have a fishing profile as well. We can do other sports on request. We don't have them all automated yet. We have changed our format, so there's a lot of rewriting and editing to do to get baseball, softball, all of those other sports up online.
Well, no doubt, Walter. We appreciate it at Plott Performance on Twitter and Charles Plott 1. Always great stuff with analyzing the majors for us, Charlie, and talking golf. We appreciate you coming here live at Bill Penny Toyota on this federal holiday. But, hey, man, appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks. All right, let's get a break in. When we come back, your phone calls next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Looks like they have cleared that wreck at 53 and ready section. That's been our only working injury accident this morning. Washington and Hine and Athens sounds like it's going to be a no injury. And we got 72 in Moores Mill that also should be clearing. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. Why not make it safer for them? Move over. It's the law. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
The boys of summer are heating up. The Atlanta Braves are locked in and ready. And the Braves Radio Network's making sure you don't miss a single moment.
2-1 pitch. There's a missile. Deep right. Back towards the corner. Damage done by Matt Olson.
Tonight, the Braves are back in town to kick off a huge homestand at Truist Park as they face off with the NL West San Francisco Giants. Braves Radio goes on the air at 6:05 Eastern, 5:05 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
My sweet cheeks feeling squeaky clean when Charmin's rolling behind the scenes. Charmin TP gives me those cheeky clean feels. That ultra strong hype is all for reals. Those TP rolls got me a Charmin clean tooketh. Cheek to cheek feeling oh so shooketh.
Charmin Ultra Strong just cleans better. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
At Progressive, we know there's nothing like the feeling of riding a motorcycle with your crew on the open road. That symphony of engines roaring in perfect harmony. It's a feeling that would be impossible to recreate on the radio. Until now. Hit it, Jerry. Oh, my word. Really, really terrible. Was that a glockenspiel, Jerry? Quote with Progressive and see if you could save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. No, Jerry. It's over.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
Hey Dad, cool if I change this?
They may not get each other's music, but they can both get a COVID-19 booster shot. Because the CDC recommends booster shots for people 12 years and older after completion of a primary series. Schedule an appointment as soon as you are eligible. Sponsored by BioNTech and Pfizer.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Hi, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN Zone. We're live this morning. Bill Penny Toyota sitting out here in the service department Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then on Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. They're on hand to service all of your vehicle needs. Bring them on out here to Bill Penny Toyota and let the fine folks here take care of you. Taking care of us, Jeff from the Borough this morning, right out of the gates on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Good morning, sir.
How's it going, guys?
Morning, Jeff. How are you?
Really good. I was going to say, Terry, what do you think that offensive lineman's going to do? He's down to Alabama and Iowa. Scott State is going to stay up there and play in the Big Ten.
Well, I would have said yes a week ago that Caden Proctor from Des Moines, Iowa, near Scott's old stomping grounds,
yeah.
I would think, and probably Iowa may still have the slight edge, but it sounds like Alabama knocked it out of the park with him on the visit with he and his mom. He stayed an extra night in Birmingham and then canceled his 3 other official visits and basically is going to go on. He's got an official to Iowa coming up.
Right.
And then he's going to, according to his mother, before he makes a decision, he wants to come to a game at Alabama during the regular season to make up his mind. But, this could be another Ross Piersbacher situation where you remember years ago.
Got him out of Cedar Falls.
Yeah, he was committed to Iowa, and Alabama basically flipped him from Iowa. And I still think he holds the record because Alabama made so many deep playoff runs during his career, even though he redshirted, I believe, as a freshman. I think he's played the most career games ever as an offensive lineman for Alabama. And I'm not sure if he's still in the NFL. He was with the Washington Commanders. I'm going to keep reminding myself of that. He was in the NFL. I think he may still be, but Ross had a long career at Alabama. We'll see what happens with Caden Proctor. He's a lot of people believe one of the top 2 offensive tackles in the country. I think Alabama's going to get an OT today. Wilkin Formby, who's from Northridge High School in Tuscaloosa. I believe he's announcing his commitment. He just recently visited Alabama officially. I think he's going to pick Alabama over Ole Miss and others, but we'll see, Jeff. But certainly, and then we're going to see coming up with Carmelo English. Can Kentucky pull it off, or is he going to go to Auburn? I would probably favor Auburn here, but again, you never know.
Yeah, well, I know a lot of the high school players are going to start. Are going to probably decide next month because that's when it gets close.
July will be a big month.
Season.
Right.
We got 2-week dead period coming up. Then I know after that, before that they'll be deciding because they want to go ahead and get their out of the way for the high school season. But Drew, what you think about the Cubs this weekend? A friend of mine, a Braves fan, after I saw him Saturday after Friday's game, he said that's why I don't bet on sport.
That's why I don't bet on Major League Baseball. I told Scott, I said, your reverse psychology works, basically guaranteeing a sweep, and then the Cubs almost swept the Braves. They win the first 2 games. The Braves get a shutout 6-0. Unfortunately, our good friend Kyle Wright took a loss on Saturday. But it was kind of cool seeing the Contreras brothers embrace on the Friday, when they were when the Cubs and the Braves played, because it was a situation where Contreras, William got a start, and then of course his brother's the starting catcher for the Cubs. So
on Friday though, didn't our guy from Coleman, did he not get to play and start on Friday for Chicago? It was either Friday or Wednesday.
Oh yeah, from Auburn. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I need to double check that because, quite frankly, I forgot to.
I know that he is starting.
I know he's been doing well.
Yes, and
no doubt about that. But
the name totally is escaping.
Yeah,
me
because
right now.
because when I was looking, I forgot to look and see when he was pitching because Charlie Morton actually pitched one of his better games in that 1-0 loss, and that was kind of frustrating because I had forgot to check and see. Yeah, he actually did start that game, the 1-0, and got the win. My bad. It's Keegan Thompson.
Yes.
Yeah, and he hasn't been up that long, but he's finally looks like he's establishing himself. So Keegan Thompson of Coleman gets the win over Charlie Morton during the Friday game, Jeff.
All right, so that's going to do it for hour number 1. We are live from Bill Penny Toyota. Hour 2 going to kick off, and we're going to go NBA. Yes.
Yeah, don't run off into a ditch, everybody. But we are going to be talking some high school basketball too, because his son's one of the best young players in the country. 2024. He's going to have a camp here coming up at Supreme Courts in Guntersville, Alabama, from the 27th through the 30th. So he will be in our state. We are going to talk to the one and only, one of my favorite guys, Dennis Scott, from one of the best teams, one of my favorite teams in my childhood, Lethal Weapon 3, Georgia Tech, and, of course, Bobby Crimmins. And he's going to join us at 9:05 here in a few minutes. Or, excuse me, 8:05. 9:05.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that, chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, 2317 Memorial Parkway. Check out our menu and even order online at baddaddysburgerbar.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, Managing Partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama A&M University football. Stop into University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com and view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see ya in the Kia. Go Bulldogs!
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Looks like they have cleared that wreck at 53 and Ready section. That's been our only working injury accident this morning. Washington and Hine and Athens sounds like it's going to be a no injury. And we got 72 in Moores Mill that also should be clearing. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. Why not make it safer for them? Move over. It's the law. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A beautiful Monday afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid-90s. Not going to be all that oppressively humid this afternoon. I really do think it's going to make for a great day. Temperatures dropping into the upper 60s as we head into the overnight. We're going to really begin to warm things up as we head into your Tuesday. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
The latest World Series odds have the Dodgers still the favorite to win it all at plus 420, with the Yankees behind them at plus 450, the Astros plus 700, followed by the Mets at plus 750, and the defending champion Braves now at plus 1200. The Avalanche taking games 1 and 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals, the series moving to Tampa Bay for game 3 tonight against the Lightning, both teams minus 110 on the money line, the over-under at 6. The Braves' 14-game winning streak came to an end Friday. They took 1 out of 3 in the series against the Cubs, winning 6-0 Sunday. Atlanta minus 132 on the money line tonight against the Giants at plus 122. The over-under at 8. Max Fried getting the start for the Braves.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 97.7ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you. For another hour as we come to you from Bill Penny Toyota, sitting out here in the service department. And what has been a fantastic Monday for everyone so far. Coming up here in just a little bit, Dennis Scott's going to join the show as we talk some basketball. Coming up later today, the Auburn Tigers will be in action in the College World Series. You will be able to hear all of that action right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. 1 o'clock first pitch, Auburn and Stanford from the College World Series. 97.7 ESPN The Zone has been your home for the College World Series so far this fall. And we will be the home for the Auburn Tigers today as they take on Stanford. And then Arkansas will battle Ole Miss in a winner's bracket game. That'll get underway a little after 6 o'clock tonight, or right after that Auburn-Stanford game. So that is the lineup coming up a little bit later today here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Before we bring in Dennis Scott, Tennessee and Josh Heupel getting some good news over the weekend. Las Vegas running back out of Bishop Gorman, Will Stallings, Drew, chooses the Tennessee Volunteers.
Yeah, Bishop Gorman, one of the best programs in America, national football program. Tennessee's recruiting continues to excel under Josh Heupel. And, of course, getting Nico Iamaleava, I think, has really helped out. And, of course, NIL, they've been very aggressive, like Texas A&M. They've got a collective together. They've been able to attract young men. And the style of play with Josh Heupel, the offensively being wide open, no huddle, and then having a better year than anticipated last year in year one really kind of set the stage. They've got Hendon Hooker coming back. Some people think they can finish in the top three in the SEC East. I don't have them there. I'm still concerned about them defensively, but certainly Josh Heupel and his guys are improving that Tennessee program. There's a lot of hype around them right now, a lot of buzz and positive buzz in recruiting, and that's a lot of times what it takes. And so they were able to get that big commitment yesterday, and it's a big piece of the puzzle offensively. And they're trying to put together a really good skill position class with Nico Iamaleava, one of the top 2 to 3 probably quarterbacks in the country in the 2023 class, being the linchpin of it.
All right, Ed, before we get to Dennis Scott, any Alabama news on the recruiting front?
Well, yeah, as I said, Wilkin Formby today, watch for that. I don't know what time exactly he's making his announcement, but he's an offensive tackle from Northridge High School, had a really good camp at Alabama just about over a week ago. And also, he worked out and he went on his official visit. So he's, I think, really excited about the process and decided to wrap it up. He's from 3 minutes down the road. Nick Saban wants this young man. He's 6'7", 295 pounds, very impressive physically. And I think he's a guy that plays with the right kind of mindset and attitude, very nasty disposition on film too. So this could be a big piece potentially for Alabama later today.
All right, so there's some headlines as we kick off hour number 2 here of Talking Ball, live from Bill Penny Toyota. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond with you until 9 a.m. Now it's time to bring in our second guest of the morning. And this will be fun because we're going to get to stroll down memory lane a little bit, talk a little college basketball, a little NBA basketball, and some high school basketball all in one with one of the good ones.
Oh, we are. And there is no question in my mind, this is one of my childhood, growing up, being 15 years old and watching this team play and go to the Final Four in 1990. Lethal Weapon 3, Brian Oliver, the freshman Kenny Anderson, who was such an electric talent, but they were led by our next guest, one of the greatest shooters in college basketball history, one of really the great three-point shooters in NBA history because he played a decade plus in the NBA, was the three-point champion in the NBA in 1996, but he was consensus All-American in 1990, a former McDonald's All-American before that, and was one of the greatest players in ACC history. And we're honored to be joined for the first time on Talkin' Ball on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline by Dennis Scott, who also works for NBA TV. He's very close to the National Basketball Association still, and he's going to be in our state nearby here in North Alabama from June 27th through the 30th at Supreme Court's Guntersville, Alabama. And we're going to talk a little bit about that and his outstanding career, and he's been good enough to join us this morning. Dennis, you're with Drew DeArmond and Scott Tyson. Welcome, my friend. How are you this morning?
I'm very well, guys. How are you?
We are really well. And it's an honor to be joined by you, Dennis. And, again, I was a huge fan of – I had Georgia Tech gear back in the day when you played. I was a big fan of Coach Crimmins and your style of play. I thought, in a way, you guys were ahead of your time. But that 1990 team was a special one. And I just wanted you to kind of reminisce a little bit with us about that, because that Georgia Tech team, to me, they didn't win a national title, but it was one of my favorite teams to watch.
Yeah, Bobby was so what's the right word to say? Transparent when he walked into your home and talked to you and talked to your family, and how he saw you as a young man and what he expected, from you when you got to campus. So when you look at the landscape of high school basketball today versus, I'm getting old now, 30 years ago, plus years ago, it's like everything has changed. Everything I think was a little more pure back then. So Bobby would come in and say, hey, I'm recruiting you. I want you to come play a certain way. I want you to go be a great student. I want you to be a great person. And that was kind of the recruiting. It wasn't with today with the social media, our kids get a little, I think sometimes get a false insecurity with some of the extra height. So what Bobby was able to do, if you think about it, Bobby went into a small town in Oklahoma and recruited Mark Price.
Yes.
Right? And then he goes into the big city of New York and gets John Salley. Two total opposite, lifestyles. So the same thing we recruit me. I'm growing up in a small town in Hagerstown, Leesburg, Virginia, which is right outside of Washington, D.C., which kind of reminds me of Guntersville a little bit and Huntersville, Alabama a little bit. We'll get to that in a second. And then we bring in Kenny Anderson, another guy from New York. Then Brian Oliver was a local kid from Atlanta. So the reason I reminisce in telling the story is Bobby was real keen in finding the right personalities from different walks of life and bring us all together, buy into one message of playing great team basketball, and let's see where it goes. In that year, 1990, we made it all the way to the Final Four.
Do you still have any of the Lethal Weapon 3 posters?
Of course.
Yeah, no doubt. Kenny Anderson out of Archbishop, my voice so good, but you were such a great shooter. Brian was such a great player. And now, what's so crazy is, and I'm feeling old myself, Dennis, because your son, Dennis Scott III, is an outstanding player at Mount Vernon Presbyterian. I know he's a 2024 prospect. How has it been? You just kind of mentioned how high school basketball is. How has it been watching him go through the process? And he's certainly going to be able to follow in your footsteps, and it looks like in play on the Division I level.
It's really exciting, guys. But I told him a few years ago that if you choose basketball, it's going to be a blessing and it's going to be a curse. And coming out of his 8th grade year, he didn't quite understand it because he was a baseball player first.
Wow. Okay.
Like to this day, he has an 85-mile-an-hour fastball. So the old baseball coach calls my wife every so often and says, "Hey, you think Dennis wants to change his mind? We sure love to have him." I'm like, I think that shit may have already left the yard. I think he's gone now. Because he went from a growth spurt in 8th grade, he was about 6'6", maybe 250. So in 2 years, he's grown 3.5 inches. So now he's 6'9.5". He's lost all the baby fat. He's down to 225. He's got a 17-inch shoe. And, yes, he can shoot it like me. So that part, as a dad, I'm excited. But as a basketball guy, I'm not as excited because he needs to work on his motor. He needs to work on his self-motivation as a kid. He's looking at social media too much. So being able to teach, as we say, how do you bring it every night?
Yeah.
Not one night, 2 nights. You get a little write-up on social media, you think you've done something. Oh, you had 2 good games, you got an offer from a college. So I always tell him, success is just like rent. Just because you have a good day, rent's due tomorrow. You got to show me you can do it again, and that's what the great ones do. So watching them as a dad, yes, it's fun. But as a basketball guy, it drives me crazy sometimes with these kids when they don't play consistent basketball every time.
Former college standout, NBA standout, Dennis Scott with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Dennis, we just got out. I'd be remiss if we didn't ask. We just got out of the NBA Finals. Your thoughts on Golden State bringing home another trophy?
First of all, I've known Steve Kerr, 30-plus years as well. So just what he's been through as a player, the coach, his family, his background. I mean, 9 rings, 5 as a player, 4 as a coach. So for all you coaches out there, if you believe in the game and you're a student of the game, you don't have to have played in the NBA. You don't have to have played overseas. Are you a purist of the game? Do you really love the game? Are you flexible? You know, for some of you older coaches who may have been at some high school 40 years, you've had some system, and you're afraid to change. It's time to change, old coach. It's time to get out your old ways. And when you get out your old ways, maybe some of these kids may want to stay at your schools and not transfer now. Open up your mind. Listen to the kid that's in front of you that says, I want to be the next Trae Young. I want to be the next Steph Curry. I want to be the next Klay Thompson. I want to be the next Jordan Poole. But the key to that, guys, is young man that's feeling that way, are you willing to put in the work that Trae Young put in? Are you willing to put in the work that Jaylen Brown put in? Are you willing to put in the work that Steph Curry put in? Because for what Steph Curry's doing now, for the kids who are 4 years old, they don't remember that Steph Curry's ankles were, fragile those first 5 years. Mm-hmm. And people thought that first contract he was overpaid. Now we look at his new contract, he's got $205 million. We say he's underpaid now.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because when he first started playing, think about this. This is something to think about when we talk about impact. When Steph Curry was drafted by the Golden State Warriors 13 years ago, they were worth $480 million. Now they're worth $4.8 billion.
Wow. Well, there was at one time, I believe, a name of Dennis Scott was atop the single season 3-point field goal tally. Am I not mistaken?
At one point in time, and this is where as Steph Curry, he's talking about he's the petty king.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the petty super king because I've been knowing Steph and Dale all my life too. So it's fun to say that. Well, Steph, until you came into the NBA, I earned my name 3D for a reason.
Right.
You broke all my records. So I really can't stand you, honestly.
No doubt. Well, Dennis, I'd be remiss too if I didn't ask you what the state of the game in both the college and NBA. What are your thoughts on it?
My thoughts are, for all you people who believe in analytics, I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
I challenge you. The numbers come from the game. Unless you from another planet, yes, 3 is more than 2. Last time I checked, 1, 2, 3, yes, 3 is more than 2. But if the wrong person is shooting a 3, the analytics don't make no sense. That's my challenge. So I use Marc Gasol as an example. It was like at the end of Marc Gasol's career, they had him shooting more 3s than 2s. So then it took him away from the basket more. So he went from averaging 15 rebounds a game down to 10. So that means his offensive rebounds went down from 6 a game to 2 because it took him further away from the basket. So if you are a Dirk Nowitzki, you can pick and pop and shoot the 3. But what made Dirk a better player at the end of his career? When they made him go closer to the basket, he took less threes. So, analytical guys, I'm not mad at the analytics. My thing is, have the right people take the right shot, then I have no argument with your analytics.
I want to go, before we get into the camp and all the fun stuff, though, I do got to ask you, how fun was that Orlando Magic team with Shaquille O'Neal, Nick Anderson, and yourself? We've seen a lot of videos. We've seen a lot of documentaries on that team and everything, and the run that went through. How special was that for you?
And before you answer, Dennis, I'm going to tell you I've become a get off my lawn guy. I'm a 1990s NBA just nut, and I miss it so much. I miss that style of the NBA. I know it's changed. Basketball evolves, but I miss that. I miss those memories and you guys playing against the Rockets, and I just miss that. I miss the 90s NBA a lot.
It's going to come back, guys, but once again, it's all about the kids.
Yeah.
And the kids who decide to say, you know what, I'm not taking a jump shot this possession. I'm driving it to the basket, or I got a small guy on me. I'm going into the post. And certain kids are starting to figure that out. And like you say, the evolution of the game. How do we figure out a way to attack the paint? At the end of the day, it's either draw and kick, or where does the draw come from? From the paint. Or when you see you got a mismatch, you're trying to exploit the mismatch. So now I have to pivot to answer your question. That was 90s basketball.
Yeah.
You always use size. So I remember draft night, Nick Anderson and I talking to John Gabriel, and we got Shaq. And at that point in time, I was first team all rookie. Nick was getting 20 shots a night. I'm getting 20 shots a night. We're the new young gun. But the night we get Shaq, I look at Nick. I go, guess what? I said, we got a new cake to start riding. This is way before Shaq started calling himself Superman. I said, we get ready to ride young fellas' coattails. Then the very next year we get Penny. I said, oh, my goodness, let me get another seat. I said, these two jokers right here are going to change our lives. And they actually did that. That's how good Shaq and Penny were.
Wow.
And we just basically fed off of those two guys because one-on-one, they could not be stopped. Before Penny's knee injury, he could not be stopped one-on-one in the post by anybody. Yeah. So both guys being double-teamed, both guys being unselfish, and me walking around, as the kids like to say, with a ratchet in my pocket, ready to let it fly, the rest is history. That was just a magical run we had. It's fun on and off the court because both those guys had different personalities.
They did, and it's been –
Shaq was just charismatic. I mean, just charismatic still. You still see it today.
Absolutely. And then, well, Dennis, I know –
Shaq said, he said, man, he said, come on, 3D. I thought I'd be relaxed. I'm doing more work now doing TV than I was playing. I said, boy, stop. You got more checks in the checkbook. Stop playing.
Hey, I always like watching some of these car reality shows where they have Shaq, and then he comes in with the black credit card and he buys like 6 cars. I mean, and then and you always hear all the philanthropic things he does. He went into a restaurant the other day, paid everybody's tab. I mean, he's just a great dude. I've always admired Shaq and what he's about. But I wanted to get into this, too. I know you're coming on with us because of the basketball camp. You're going to be in the scenic city of Guntersville, where I have a lot of family. And I was just last week for 4 days for the first time at Supreme Courts. Jonathan Hyde, Shane McBride, Brian Dominick, they do such a great job with that facility. And I know you're teaming up with Brian Dominick, and you're putting on a basketball camp for ages 7 to 17, June 27th through the 30th, courtesy of Shooter's Paradise. Talk about the camp, Dennis, that you're going to be a part of.
Well, first of all, Brian and I have been together since the 5th grade.
Wow.
So what I want the whole state of Alabama to understand that they just don't have a regular guy. They just don't have a average Joe, pun intended.
Right.
They don't have just some regular dude that just picked up a book and read the game of basketball. They're not. They don't. I want to make sure all you listeners understand it. They have a basketball dude, and that dude has been a part of my life since I've been in the 5th grade. Wow. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So from AAU to high school, he was my point guard. Then I went to Flint Hill. Well, sure, he went to Flint Hill first. Then I went. I reclassified. Back then they called it prep because my grades weren't good. So I had to change my life, fix my grades to get to where I'm at. Brian left, went on to Augusta College, where he earned his own scholarship, where he was a starter and averaged, I think, his freshman year, I think he averaged 13 and 7. So he had his own career going. Bobby Kremen said, we really, really want you. I said, well, Bobby, I have it down to Georgetown in Maryland. And before the late Lynn Bias passed away, I was considered going to Maryland, and I really love Syracuse. Bobby called and said, what can I do to really get you there? I said, well, my best friend is at Augusta College. If you can figure out a way to get him a scholarship, I'll come. He said, that's it? I said, that's it. Within 48 hours, Bobby called me back and said, Brian DeMalik has a scholarship. I said, I don't believe you. The next day, the Atlanta Constitution said Georgia Tech is accepting the transfer Brian DeMilliket because no one could pronounce Brian's name properly back then.
Oh, wow.
So we always laugh at that story. And the rest is history. And then we're at Tech together, part of the Final Four team. I leave early. He gets his opportunity to play. And he had arguably the biggest shot made his senior year when he beat Georgia. I think he had 4 or 5 3-pointers in the second half.
Nice.
So, Alabama, you have a real basketball dude in your state. And we're coming back to spread our wings of all the basketball knowledge we've occurred over all these years. So Alex, Odom, Olivia, Molly, Ace, I got so many names I want to make sure I miss out on that girls. It's been so good. It's been so good that I can't explain. Like recently, meeting a young kid, Ty Davis, over at Mountain Brook.
Yes.
He's going to be a high recruit. I'm super excited, guys, because every time I see one of the parents, I thank the parents first.
Right.
Because, let me say this loud, too. Because before my son turned the corner and took basketball serious, he was in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
In the narrative in baseball, my daughter now is in volleyball, and now I'm entrenched in basketball, AAU, grassroots sports. The problem is not the kids. The problem is the parents. That is the problem. So, for me, going through this process now, when I come to Alabama, I make it my point to go thank mom and dad for trusting Brian and I and all of the coaches with your kids. Because it's up to me now to help change the narrative on why parents have to coach from the stand. If I can go sit down, why can't you? If I can go find the right high school, if I can go find the right high school coach, if I can go find the right AAU coach, then I'm going to go sit down. The training part, clinic, camp, yes, that's when I can be hands-on.
Yeah.
But when it's time to go be a dad, Coach T at Mount Vernon, take over. Coach D, AAU, take over. Because as a basketball guy, I know when my son's playing hard and when he's not. So he'll go out the game when he's not playing well. He'll look over at me. I shrug my shoulder up, and I say, come on, let's go. I can't sit there and say, no, drive, no, box out, ask for the ball more. No, I'm not the coach. So that is part of the whole camp thing. Or what Brian and I are trying to do is that kid, when you come to camp, concentrate on Brian, concentrate on the coach, concentrate on working hard, and mom and dad will be there at the end of camp. Because our goal is to make sure when they leave camp each day that they're happy, they're encouraged, they're empowered, and they can't wait to get back to get more.
Dennis Scott, one of the ACC's 50 greatest players in ACC history, joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Dennis, so you get these kids in the camp. They're all going to be coming there to Guntersville. Just run us through about what some of the stuff that they're going to be doing.
Well, I think the key word is fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
Everything starts with the fundamentals. A lot of, I guess the key word for you listeners would be station work. So ball handling, agility. I think in today's game, someone mentioned earlier the evolution of the game. But one thing that never changes is good footwork. Our kids today sometimes have the worst footwork I've ever seen. It's just like, come on, guy. I understand you're watching NBA, you're watching James Harden and Trae Young with the step back, and there's a good debate right now. Is it a walk?
Is it a walk?
I love the fact that the kids are challenging the rule. Once you pick your dribble up, you're allowed 2 steps. Us old school thinkers used to think, well, the only time you could do that is when you're doing the layup. Well, in the rule book, it doesn't say that. The rule book says once you pick the ball up, you're allowed 2 steps. So that's a good challenge. But kids, learn the footwork first on how to stop with 2 feet and use either foot as your pivot foot first. The old school stuff first before you add some of the advanced stuff. So that's what we try to do first, is start with the fundamentals and then let the kids get creative.
Well, Dennis Scott will be there June 27th through the 30th at Supreme Course, Guntersville, Alabama, 9 to 3 p.m. Those 4 days. He'll be there Monday through Thursday. We're going to put the camp info up on 97.7 The Zone, where you can scan the QR code to register for this camp, to work with one of the greatest shooters in college basketball and NBA history. It's been an honor to have you on the show this morning. Thank you for taking the time. I know you have a very busy schedule. Brian Domlick, great guy. It's so funny how you can basketball brings you together, and you can make so many great connections. Working with Jonathan Hyde and those guys last week, doing some media stuff, meeting Brian. It's been great to connect with him, and I hope to be able to see you over at the camp. But we really appreciate you for taking the time and sharing some of your basketball experiences with us, Dennis, and we hope we can have you on the show again later down the road. But we really appreciate the time, and we're looking forward to having you here in North Alabama in the coming days, just in about a week.
Well, you know what? First of all, guys, appreciate you. Fun chat, but let me clean up a few for the listeners.
Right.
So this first camp is going to be at Stone, at Sand.
Oh, the amphitheater. Okay, my fault. Okay,
yeah.
My bad.
No problem. I know it's a lot going on. We're all excited, but I know make sure our listeners, this upcoming week at Stone Amphitheater Rec, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Sand Mountain Amphitheater.
Yeah,
Yep,
sure
the Stone.
We got that right.
Right, it's the Sand Mountain Park Direct Stone Amphitheater at Sand Mountain. My bad. The Sand Mountain Amphitheater is where this camp's going to be.
Yeah, that's the new
right.
That is
new
a
facility,
brand new facility up there.
Yeah, it's a great facility.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful city. Yeah, it's going to be this is going to probably be our home, because the courts, the pool, the slides, everything, the recovery. I mean, that's another thing too that our kids don't know about, is good recovery. Like when you get done a workout, sit down, stretch, ice your knees. Oh, Mr. Scott, there's nothing wrong with my knee. That's what they all say. Sit down and ice anyway. So there's little stuff like that. Another reason why I like Stone Mountain. They've been great so far. They've been great, working with Brian and I. So I can't wait to see those guys as well.
Can't wait to see that facility. Hope to be able to check that out. And again, we want to thank them. We want to thank Average Joe Sports Talk as well. They're going to be a sponsor. But we appreciate it, Dennis. Thank you, man. You're one of our favorites, and it's been great to have you on the show. Great extended segment. And again, hope we can talk some hoops with you down the road. But we look forward to you being in the beautiful scenic city of Guntersville, Alabama, on June the 27th. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
All right, thanks, Dennis. All right, let's get a break in. When we come back, phone lines back open to you, 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Looks like they have cleared that wreck at 53 and ready section. That's been our only working injury accident this morning. Washington and Hine and Athens sounds like it's going to be a no injury. And we got 72 in Moores Mill that also should be clearing. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. Why not make it safer for them? Move over. It's the law. Captain Nick in the North Parkway Popeyes Skywatch Traffic Center.
Lowe's Provember event is back, and we're thanking pros like you all month long with buy one, get one free deals on select DeWalt power tools and top values like a Spider 2-pack of 4.5-inch diamond cutoff wheels for $14.98. Join us for Provember, going on now through November 24th. Shop in-store or at Lowe's.com/Provember. Lowe's, the new home for pros. While supplies last, U.S. only, valid 10/28 through 11/24.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
My sweet cheeks feeling squeaky clean. When Charmin's rolling behind the scenes, Charmin TP gives me those cheeky clean feels. That ultra strong hype is all for reals. Those TP rolls got me a Charmin clean tooketh. Cheek to cheek feeling oh so shooketh.
Charmin Ultra Strong just cleans better. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey Wes, our company Fleming Roofing and Restoration specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a 5th generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey Wes, we show up.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of the Stanton Law Firm. Stan, I guess you are the Stanton in the law firm.
Yes, Wes, that's me, and we started the Stanton Law Firm so that myself and 4 other attorneys with me can help clients litigate, negotiate, and creatively solve legal and real estate problems.
Now, Stan, you grew up on a family farm in this area and have made a name closing on houses and land with your closing company, Jacob Title.
I grew up on a farm which used to be in the country. That, plus having closed on so many homes and farms, one of my colleagues started referring to me as a classic dirt lawyer. Now, I didn't know how to take that at first, that tag, but I realized that's exactly what I do and what I am.
Stan, I know the attorneys at Stanton Law Firm are regular listeners, and we plan to have you on periodically. You and I have seen have impacted this community.
Stay tuned, and you may hear about friends like Steve Booker, Clarence Johnson, Thomas Boyd, and even a few of those offensive line hogs like Hoss Johnson, and maybe you remember some other of those guys too.
I remember Clarence Johnson. He beat us one year. He was unbelievable.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 977 ESPN The Zone.
Coming up next, it's the Tom Abraham Show with me, Tom Abraham. Now back to more Talking Ball with Scott and Drew.
Just like that, we are back. ESPN 97.7, ESPN The Zone, Talking Ball live from Bill Penny Toyota, sitting out here in the service department.
That's right.
Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and then on Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., they can take care of all your service needs for your vehicles. And
I wanted to give some more just info on the camp. We gave the dates, 27th through the 30th. The ages are ages 7 to 17. High school players, great for high school. And the instruction, you heard what Dennis said. They're going to, of course, it's going to be fundamentals is going to be the focus. Footwork. It's for both boys and girls, ages 7 to 17. And again, we're going to put it up on our social media. You can scan the QR code to register. And it will be, as we said, not at Supreme Courts, but it's going to be at that new, you talked about it, Scott, amazing facility over at Sand Mountain Parks and Recreation Amphitheater. It's going to be unbelievable. As Dennis said, the courts over there are state-of-the-art. It's brand new. And you were just talking about before we went to break and even after we when we were off the air, talking about what a great facility that is.
That's all part of that. I think UAH softball's played over there. There's baseball that's been played over there.
Turf
it's
fields,
all part
everything.
They got all kinds of great stuff over there. Switching it to college football, Phil Steele has come out with his preseason All-American list. I don't know if anybody has saw this when he came out, but Phil Steele putting his All-American team, his preseason All-American team out there. First team quarterback, Bryce Young, no surprise there. Second team, C.J. Stroud. Third team, Caleb Williams. Your running backs, Bijan Robinson and Deuce Vaughn of Kansas State, are your first team. Chris Rodriguez from Kentucky lands on the second team. That's the only SEC running back in the picture right there. So there's a question to come out of that one. Wide receivers, Ohio State, Jackson Smith, Jigba there is your first team. Keishawn Butte from LSU is on the first team as well. Jermaine Burton from Alabama, Cedric Tillman from Tennessee land on the second team list. No surprise, Brock Bowers, your first team tight end. Cameron Latou from Alabama goes on the fourth team for Phil Steele. Now, if you look along the defensive line, Alabama does not have anybody in the first team All-American on the defensive line, according to Phil Steele. But the linebackers is Will Anderson on the first team. Henry To'oTo'o is on the second team. And then Owen Pappoe from Auburn is on the fourth team. Defensive backs, Eli Ricks from Alabama is on the first team. Jordan Battle's on the first team. So you go up and down this list, Drew. Some interesting picks there. But I want to go back to the running back spot and ask you a question. There's only one SEC running back listed as an All-American according to Phil Steele, and that's second team. Will that be that way at the end of the year? Will the SEC have a running back that is capable of busting through?
I mean, I think that Jahmyr Gibbs, I've already said on the show that I think he can be the newcomer of the year in the SEC. I definitely think he could be a guy. He's coming from, ironically, the alma mater of Dennis Scott, Georgia Tech, after his first 2 years. I think Jahmyr Gibbs can be as good as any newcomer in the SEC as a runner, receiver, kickoff returner. I think he can be a dynamic player, Scott. So I don't think there's any doubt. And I love Jason McClellan. I think he's under the radar. He's coming back from a knee injury. I'm not saying these are both going to be first-team All-SEC guys. If you had to ask me who is going to be the guy that I think is going to get the most touches and have a chance to have the biggest impact, I'm going to say Jahmyr, though I think that's going to be your 1-2 punch. But I think Jahmyr Gibbs can be as good as any running back in the SEC. He was an all ACC type talent, but he played on some bad teams at Georgia Tech. So I think with the talent surrounding him at Alabama, an improved offensive line under the leadership of Eric Wolford, with Tyler Steen being hopefully the missing piece at left tackle, the graduate transfer from Vanderbilt who came in through the portal. I think Alabama and with Jahmyr Gibbs can be dynamic. I think you saw the 75-yard touchdown run in the 8A game. I think that's just the tip of the iceberg. If he stays healthy, and by the way, he will be switched to number 1, which was his number at Georgia Tech. He will be number 1 and take over Jamison Williams' jersey number. He was 13 in the spring. I just think Jahmyr Gibbs and Jace McClellan will now go from 21 to 2. So I think those two guys can be dynamic. But Jahmyr Gibbs, to me, I know he's probably not going to garner a lot of all-conference mention at SEC Media Days or by Phil Steele because nobody's seen him yet. But I think he can be maybe the dynamic newcomer in the SEC and for Alabama offensively in the fall.
All right, so that's just Phil Steele's All-American. No surprise in tight end, Brock Bowers. Cameron Latou, though, 4th team, according to Phil Steele.
He's a guy that needs to be more consistent with his blocking and with his receiving. I think he still at times drops some passes. He did in the spring. I know his blocking has been – I've always thought he gave effort, but at times – he needs to clean that up a little bit with his consistency. I still think with a solid season he can be a pro.
Right.
And let's understand, he never played the position in high school. He was converted. He was a defensive player. He was signed at Alabama as an outside linebacker, but they moved him to tight end. So it's been a developmental situation for him. He had a big play in the national championship game. Did get caught from behind, but had an explosive offensive play down the sideline against Georgia. He's capable of making plays. So hopefully he can have a big senior season. But certainly there's nobody going to touch Brock Bowers. I mean, he's a freakazoid. I think he's the best tight end in college football. He'll be in another 2 years, he'll be a top 10 pick in the NFL draft. I'll be shocked if he's not. And by then, Gronk may be retired. I still think Gronk's going to come back and play at least the last year with Tom Brady this year. But he definitely could, have the torch pass from Gronk to him as being, a superstar in the NFL should he continue to stay healthy and produce at Georgia.
There's only one Alabama offensive lineman that Phil Steele put in his All-American list. 3rd team, he put Emil Ekiyor on there.
Well, I mean, I think he's counting on a bounce back from Emil because Emil was really good on that 2020 offensive line that was the best, I think, maybe in Alabama history, that won the national championship, went 13-0 during the COVID season. Last year he kind of struggled. Chris Owens struggled at right tackle, so that was a situation, and Damian George. So he probably didn't play at his high level, but he's going into his 3rd year as a starter. He's going to have J.C. Latham beside him, in my opinion, in his first full season starting at right tackle. I think he does have pro ability, and I think Phil Steele is counting on Emil Ekiyor being healthier, and I think Emil had some shoulder issues last year. He did miss spring this year, sitting out to get healthy. He's counting on him being healthy and being a leader and having a big senior season to move on to the NFL for Alabama.
Is it important for him to have that year?
Oh, yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, if he struggles again, you can go quickly from the from the penthouse to the
Right.
outhouse with the
Right.
NFL, and and go from a potential first-day draft pick or second-day top 3-round guy to undrafted if you don't produce. So certainly, I think Emil Ekiyor needs to stay healthy, but he has the type of ability to play in the interior, either center or guard, because he can play some center. He has at Alabama a little bit, but center or guard, probably guard, though, on the pro level in the NFL.
All right, let's get that final break in. It is 8:47. When we come back, we're going to wrap up your 2-hour extravaganza with your tomorrow's headlines today.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, "If you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself."
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Did you know that your car, truck, or SUV may be worth over 30 or 40% more than it was last year? It's true. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we'd love your trade-in for a personalized custom factory order on a 2022 Explorer, Expedition, Ranger, or F1. We interrupt this message to announce our $1,000 appreciation cash reward. Attention all active military, reservists, retirees, and all veterans, plus first responders, police, fire department, EMTs, and medical professionals. In appreciation for making Huntsville the great city it is, you'll receive a $1,000 exclusive reward in addition to any public offers on most all 22 Fords. So please come see us today. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. At Woody Anderson Ford, whether it's a new order or a pre-owned, we promise to always do the right thing. Corner of Jordan and Spartman, hope to see you soon.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Picked up a wreck on 565 under the Sparkman overpass. No injury there, and it's pulled off to the side of the road. Everything else from earlier is cleared out of the way. You be careful as you make the rest of that dash in this morning. No mask, no hose. You could ask Dr. Sandman, that's Dr. Sandlin, for the medically proven benefits of the Somnodent for sleep apnea and snoring. Dr. Sandlin, 350-CARE. Captain Nick in the North Parkway, Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tomorrow's headlines today. And I guess the biggest headline would be the fact that the Auburn Tigers will play at 1 o'clock today. You'll be able to hear that game right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone as they take on Stanford. I believe, yes, Auburn and Stanford, 1 o'clock today. Then you got Ole Miss at Arkansas at 6 o'clock. Those are your two games from the College World Series. The Atlanta Braves will follow after that. And for the Atlanta Braves, it is about getting tougher. And that means the schedule gets a little bit tougher. The first month of June, the Braves faced teams that were below 500 and really have done very, 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 very well against those teams. Only 2 losses in the month of June, and those coming against Chicago both on Friday and Saturday. Today, the Braves have the San Francisco Giants for 3 games in Atlanta, but still, this is where the road gets a little bit tougher for the Atlanta Braves because it's back-to-back series against 2 of the best in the AL West, or 3 of the best, I should say, because you got the Giants, the Padres, and the Dodgers. It's the Giants, then the Dodgers.
Yeah, it is. So the competition is definitely going to pick up for the Atlanta Braves against the Giants and the Dodgers, 2 teams that definitely have a shot to go a long way in the postseason, no doubt about it. And the Dodgers, as we know, have been a perennial World Series contender, world champion a couple of years ago. They're definitely got probably the deepest pockets in all of Major League Baseball right now, Scott, with the roster they can put together. But the Braves, with Michael Harris, continuing to swing the bat well, had a home run yesterday, an opposite field home run in Wrigley Field. The Braves getting a strong start from Ian Anderson against the Cubs yesterday, and getting that shutout as a staff, avoiding the sweep, and picking up a game on the Mets, who dropped a contest, I believe, to the Miami Marlins yesterday. So the Cubs had a good weekend at Wrigley and won 2 out of 3 over the Braves. But the Braves get that needed win to avoid the sweep and pick up a game in the standings.
So if you're looking at the standings right now, the Braves are 38-29, 5.5 games back of the New York Mets. Mets are 6-4 in their last 10. Braves 8-2. Philadelphia has quietly, ever since they have fired Joe Girardi as manager, Philadelphia has come alive. Remember, when they fired Joe Girardi, they were 4 or 5 games below 500. The Phillies are 36-32 now. They are just 8 games back of the Mets, 3.5 games back of the Braves, 2.5 games back of the wild card. Philadelphia is 7-3 in their last 10 ball games. So you got 3 teams in the NL East above 500. You got just 2 teams in the NL Central above 500. And you have 3 teams in the NL West above 500. The Braves are playing 2 of those 3 teams, the Giants and the Dodgers, in back-to-back series. So that's what your rest of your major leagues look like this. The Yankees lead the Toronto Blue Jays, Drew, by 11 games in the AL East. The Yankees, much to your chagrin, are 49-17. The Twins are 38-30 to lead the Central, and the Astros are 41-25 to lead the West by 9.5 games.
Well, I'm sure the Czar's on cloud 9 about the Yankees, and they haven't won anything since 2009, so it's been glorious that they have not won a championship in a long time. Hopefully they'll choke.
They are 49-17.
Oh, now they did lose yesterday, right? To the
they lost Blue one. Jays.
Yeah, they were. I know at one they were 49-16, now 49-17. They're doing an amazing job. They've got a loaded ball club. But I'm going to talk about Auburn baseball right now. And as you just mentioned to the listeners, 6 p.m. You'll hear that on 97.7 The Zone.
1 o'clock.
Or 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. 6 p.m. will be the winner's bracket. My apologies there. That will be Ole Miss and Arkansas. But 1 o'clock on 97.7 The Zone, you will hear Auburn in Omaha in an elimination game against the number 2 national seed, Stanford Cardinal. And Butch Thompson, with our good friend Jason Caldwell reporting this, he's there covering that for Auburn Undercover. Trace Bright, the right-hander, will take the mound. And it sounds like it's going to be a Johnny Holstaff type approach, though. Mason Barnett, who has started games for Auburn and been clutch, but this is a must-win. So it looks like Trace Bright will start, the right-hander for Auburn. He wants to see Mason Barnett to pitch also. And so we'll see. And even the left-hander Skipper. So it's going to be interesting to see how Auburn approaches this. And they want to get their offense going because it took them until, as I said at the start of the show, took them until the 5th inning to get a hit, against Ole Miss, on Saturday. And then they score a run in the 7th inning as they get 3 straight hits. But they're not swinging the bats like they did in that unbelievable 3-game regional performance in Plainsman's Park. And the ball's been flying a little bit so far at Charles Schwab Field, right? That's the new sponsor.
Charles Schwab, yep.
In Omaha. So Auburn needs to get the bats going. Hopefully they will. Send Stanford home, and the SEC can continue to be dominant in this College World Series.
Expectations, I think, for Auburn, if they don't win one, as good as they were playing coming in, if they don't win today, I think you got to start asking the question, was it a disappointing trip for Auburn to the College World Series? Did they not meet expectations once they got to Omaha?
Well, they exceeded them this year. They weren't even supposed to get there, so they did a great job. But one more recruiting note, Alabama, Quay Rousseau, James Smith, 2 5-stars from Carter Montgomery will be in Tuscaloosa later today.
All right, guys, that's going to do it from Bill Penny Toyota. We'll be back in studio tomorrow. Make sure you download the app, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, where you're home for local sports.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You'll hear people say we're like